Well, gentlemen, can you imagine in 1 year's time, we'll be in the middle of our only fall international break instead of at the start of our second? This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. Up top is Brad. He supports Chelsea. And down below is Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. And yes, gentlemen, we are back into an international break. It's lovely, isn't it?
It's good to know that the FA listens to Red Card Radio because they listened to Sean Stradamus and they did what I requested. And no more September international. FIFA, FA, everybody came together and was like, you know what, Sean's right.
I didn't know that was a Sean independent thought. It does seem
Yeah,
like
it definitely was. I pioneered this thought, and it is uniquely mine. You guys just parroted it. It is uniquely my idea.
Yeah,
specifically and solely proprietary to me specifically. I deserve all the credit for there only being one fall international break next year.
Okay, interesting. We'll have to see if we can't run down and track down that soundbite, because clearly it would have taken place on Red Card Radio.
Yeah.
So
maybe
we'll have
you will definitely find it.
We'll have to drop everything into Chat GPT and see if they
actually
can find when you said
you know that. What? It would be a good task for our listeners to go back and just listen to all of the episodes and try to find it.
And you know what would help you doing that? If you hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell when you're on YouTube. That way you have an easy avenue to getting to the library of Red Card Radio episodes. Really, it's evergreen content, because you definitely want to know what was happening in the Premier League on match week 12 in 2022. That's really important to you right now.
You can reminisce. You can reminisce.
So if you're on the podcast site, hit it with a follow, 5-star review. Brad is over here shaking his head at us. But yeah.
Shameless plugs.
7 rounds in the Premier League are in the book. We are quickly approaching 1/4 way through the season. See some glasses coming out, so you know what that means.
Getting close, Brad.
It is. It's almost time for the feels.
I'm gathering feels.
Okay.
I'm gathering it up.
Collecting your feels at the moment.
I'm gathering feels.
Didn't we have Jimmy on last year during the feels episode?
I think we did.
I think we did.
I think so.
We should.
I think the original feels episode,
it was just me and you.
You happened to be out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was you. Yeah. Brad happened to be out, and we were just feeling our way through. What does it feel like in week 9? Once we can look at the table, what do we feel like it's gonna be at the end? So that's the whole idea to the feels episode. Does this team feel like, we got crazies going on. We got Sunderland up. We got Bournemouth Palace up at the top of the table. Do they feel like they're going to be there? Like last year, Nottingham Forest was there. Yeah. They didn't feel like they should be there. They didn't end up there. So, where do we feel like all these teams are going to be?
Well, we don't want to feel too much yet, but I'm feeling pretty good right now, and it pains me to say this because I feel pretty good about Chelsea right now, and their 2-1 victory over Liverpool this weekend.
Yes,
Brad,
it was very nice.
The boys did it. The boys did it.
Like I said. That was an awesome game to watch. Actually, I got to watch bits of the second half and watch the full first half this afternoon to make sure I was ready for this. Liverpool we broke almost every time Liverpool pressed us, we broke it. The trick here, I've figured out Liverpool, guys. Chip Salah
to break the press.
You beat the press.
Yeah.
And the press just falls apart.
I saw that.
Like, it's not because Cucurella is an amazing player or an amazing dribbler. It's just Chip Salah, run down the field, pass to Garnacho. Garnacho had a good game too.
Yeah.
Garnacho had a good game. Caicedo only scores worldies. I don't know what happened on their goal besides Isak flailing around and getting like a piece of the ball to knock into Gakpo's path. It felt like it was our game to win the entire time.
Mm.
Like it felt if it was a draw, it felt like we lost 2 points. It felt like we were in control of that game, and the amount of shots on target that we were just peppering them at the end. One had to go in. And what a way to score your first goal in the Premier League at the Bridge to beat Liverpool, the reigning champions. Esteval is here.
Yeah, I was thinking about that goal that he scored and then the celebrations afterwards, and I was wondering to myself, because I believe you pronounced him in Discord as the next Neymar, right?
I did. It's in there.
Yeah.
Join Discord and you can see where I said that.
Yes, I made it a point for Brad to put that in writing because
He did. I've said it on here too. He is classified as the next Neymar.
We'll see in 2 years if he is in fact the next Neymar or if he is just a good player.
Because he's like 17 or something, 17, 18.
Young
he's really, really, really young.
Oh, he's 19.
He's 19. Yeah. Well, by the time Neymar was to be the next Neymar, he would have already been Neymar by 19. So
he actually right
by definition.
Neymar at Santos, Estevao broke all of his records last year at 18.
Well,
at the same time, Neymar moved over to Barca. Or no, he moved over when he was older. It was like 2021.
I don't remember when he went to Barcelona. I don't remember how old he was.
Yeah.
But
I'm on it.
He had quite the celebration. Like in terms of like he was just like, I'm that guy. It was very much like and I was like, dude, you just scored a tap-in. Like it wasn't that impressive of a goal.
But it's the
context.
It's the atmosphere.
Yeah, of course.
B, it's the timing. C, it's a winner.
And against Liverpool, and he probably understands the context because he's aware of Liverpool over the last 7 or 8 years. And he sees all these players that are so like he's aware of the context.
100%.
But it was just very funny to me.
And Van Dijk was doing a very funny pose, so he probably thought that was hilarious.
That was Caicedo's goal. That was the first
one. Oh, that was Caicedo's. Oh, that was the first one.
Yeah.
He's always trying to stick his
booty just went around Robertson and knocked it in. We've been playing that cross though about 3 or 4 times before somebody finally got on the end of it.
So that puts Chelsea 11 points
off?
No.
I haven't looked at the table because
it's. I think it's 11. I think it's 11 points or so. That's 5 points off of league leaders. And so 5 points, it's definitely a healthy way to be. The top of the table is looking pretty tight in terms of how everybody's looking.
It hasn't strung out yet. It's getting close. It's getting close to stringing out. But
I mean, like everybody's dropped points, everybody's lost, so it seems like everyone's sticking around.
Yeah, well, they're so speaking of that, a nice segue is there are no more invincibles left.
True.
So the 0203 Arsenal
0304
0304 Arsenal team can pop champagne and celebrate. Their record is safe.
It's funny because I hadn't really been paying a lot of attention to the matches on Sunday, but I got home. I was trying to stay off the internet because I didn't want to ruin the F1 race for myself. And I got home after church and I saw on the Arsenal subreddit that they posted the picture of Wenger holding the golden trophy, and they say that the caption is like, yours isn't gold. And so I said, okay, I know that Palace lost because I knew Liverpool lost last week to Palace, and so I instinctively I understood in that moment that Palace had lost because Arsenal fans pulled the whatever the 1970 whatever Miami Dolphins thing. So
that is the which is very funny because the 1973 Dolphins when they went undefeated, the regular season was only 14 games and there was not a wild card round. So the Dolphins that year only went 16-0 to win the Super Bowl. They did go undefeated the entire time and won the championship. So there's something to be said for that. But the New England Patriots in 2007 went 19-0 and lost their 20th game.
Yeah.
So they technically won more games in a row, but they were able to eventually pop champagne because they are still the only undefeated champion to ever be in
I
the
mean,
NFL.
what's hilarious about that Patriots season though is that they lost the only one that really mattered.
Yeah.
The one that mattered
Yeah.
the most. So, but I guess that could be said about any single elimination match where the last one, the one that you lose, is the only one that ever mattered because everything that came before it, you won. And so, anyway, I digress. Yeah. So, speaking of that Everton Palace result, Jack Grealish, I think, got the winner, right?
Yes, he did. His
Yeah.
first goal for his first goal for Everton. He's
Yep.
on like 5 or 6 assists already.
Yeah, he's
Um,
having quite the season at Everton right now.
Yeah.
And
4
so,
assists. I was being crazy, but it'll be there soon.
well, he might have a couple in the other competitions, Carabao Cup, something like that, maybe. But he's looking like he is starting to recover his form.
Yeah. Imagine the robot takes the chip out of him and he returns to his natural self, and he's allowed to just play freely and play like the footballer he was before he got to robot land.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like Zaha went to United and wasn't Zaha anymore because he was in a system where he wasn't like his skill wasn't needed or wasn't relied upon. And then you send him back to Palace and he becomes a great goal scorer again.
Yeah.
It's not like Grealish isn't a top 6 player. He 100% could be. But in City system, they didn't need what Grealish does best.
Makes me kind of wonder because do City have had a number of, because I think of like Grealish, I think of Calvin Phillips. Like these are big name players that have left kind of those middle tier clubs, gone to City, and just their career has essentially fallen apart. And I'm trying to think of like big money signings that Arsenal made that have failed, and I can't really think of any off the top of my head. I mean, you could think of
Oh,
like
you meant it. I've got a list
you
here.
could think
I
of
got
maybe like
one.
the Willian transfer from Chelsea to
Pepe,
Arsenal.
Willian,
Pepe.
Time out.
Aubameyang.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Pepe was laughed at the time in terms of like how ineffective he was, but put his numbers up that he put up for Arsenal against some of these other flops that you're talking about, and he looks like a generational talent.
So he flopped less.
No, I'm saying that the standards were higher for him, and so that they said he was a flop, but he wasn't really a flop. Aubameyang wasn't a flop for Arsenal. Get out of here. He just ended. It was an acrimonious ending. Like I was the point I was going to make was about the Willian transfer. Is that like he came from Chelsea to Arsenal with big expectations, and then essentially was awful for Arsenal. That's probably the one that I can think of the most. But he was already established. Yes, no, Sterling doesn't count because he was washed before he came to Arsenal.
It's washed. Well, I would say it would be you'd be hard pressed to find, unless it was very very recent. You'd be hard pressed to find Arsenal flops, because in order to find a flop, you would have need to have spent money.
Yeah,
and you spent 15 years not spending money.
I was.
Uh, and either trusting in Highbury or you know what I mean. Like you guys just didn't spend. Either you trusted your youth system, or you were buying very frugally.
Yeah.
And trying to find Granit Xhaka's, and you were trying to find, Mustafi, like you were trying to find those like in between Moneyball players.
And I'm not. I mean,
David Luiz.
I'm thinking like Declan Rice clearly has been really good for us so far over the last.
Sure, and that's I don't
years.
think you can classify that. Yeah, you spent £100 million on that, and it clearly has been very very successful for you.
But
I
I
don't
guess
think you could say that's not a successful.
You would
transfer.
imagine the expectations are probably different for a Jack Grealish as a goal scorer. Like, right? Like that's the problem with goal scorers versus other players on the pitch, right? Is that if you're not scoring goals as a goal scorer, you're worthless. It doesn't matter what else you do for the team. Like
Yeah.
you're just your perception is that you're useless, and it's very unfair.
The point I wanted to make on Grealish is to Brad's point of that when you go to one of those clubs, when you go to Man City, they don't, or Manchester United, they don't require you to use those skills. I would just say to be a top 6 club, you don't. That's not necessarily true, because what I have been saying at Tottenham for many years is that we need a playmaker. We need a Jack Grealish. We need a Mohamed Kudus. Like that is something that was very much missing, and Liverpool needs Salah to unlock a defense sometimes, to just carve up a defense from time to time and create the space and suck defenders in and then get the pass out. That's a very in Saka at Arsenal. Like sometimes a very valuable part of that cog.
Are you thinking from the perspective of like less regimented, and because we're talking about a city side that is highly regimented, you lose that creative aspect, and you have to follow the instructions.
Yeah.
You're thinking more from just like a free flowing, like just express yourself standpoint.
But they had it though. City had it with Kevin De Bruyne and Riaz or
Mahrez.
Yeah. Mahrez, sorry.
You put his name together, Riyad Mahrez.
Riyad Mahrez. Yeah, I put it together. Mahrez, yeah, like they had that already. So maybe he was told not to be creative because we already have that. We can't have everybody being creative because that doesn't make any sense. Maybe he was told not to do that.
I mean, Grealish was the main guy
and
he always had the ball.
And they had Phil Foden and they had KDB, and like so when Mahrez moved on, then there was still Phil Foden. And so, like, Grealish was told to be a robot.
You look like you disagree, Brad.
Kind of, because Mahrez didn't really like Pep's whole system isn't a 1v1. It's KDB playing a brilliant pass that breaks everything, right? Like it's all in the passing. It's not beat your man 1v1 and head to the goal, which is kind of what Grealish does, right? He beats his man, moves the defense, makes the pass. It's not passing around the defense. It's not passing around the blocks.
Yeah, I also think that we're comparing apples to oranges because they're very different players and they play different positions and they're expected to do different things. So it's like it's not necessarily fair. In the same way that the Declan Rice example isn't fair either. And so to Grealish at least.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I just think Pep system is different, right? Like they have until Holland came along, like it was pass. Now it's pass over the top.
Well, I think
like Holland gives you more options.
I think if you talk to a lot of like the tacticos these days, the Route 1 football is a lot more acceptable now than it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Going right over the top to your fast center forward who's in behind was 10 years, or like not even necessarily your fast center forward, but just like that long pass from your goalkeeper. Now that's seen as a legitimate strategy rather than like a crutch that teams that can't play football use. Right? Because so many teams are high pressing teams, I think that most of these managers are looking at it as like, well, if you're going to press us high, we're just going to try and pop it in behind you. And that's like seen as a legitimate footballing strategy these days instead of just not be. No, I agree with you.
Yeah, if that's what you're gonna do, then why wouldn't you?
I guess my point is that like if someone tried to do that in 2008, it would have been lambasted by the Arsene Wengers, the Alex Fergusons, the Jose Mourinho's of the time. Maybe not Mourinho, I don't know, but they would have been like, this is like, like they got lucky. They scored, they weren't really playing football. And also like the pundits, like the equivalent of Gary Neville at the time, they would have been, blasting them on Sky about how it's anti-football and it's not fun. They just got lucky. They just hoofed it over the top, right? Hoofball, right? So I don't know. I think it's just intriguing.
I mean, that's what they did say about Mourinho. Park the bus and send it forward.
Yeah.
So like, yes, 100% they would have, and they did.
Yeah. Arsenal beat West Ham kind of unsurprisingly. They Though I say unsurprisingly, the last two seasons, Arsenal have lost at home to West Ham. So Arsenal winning at home to West Ham isn't a given, I guess. But 2 goals, all 3 points, that allowed them to remain first when Liverpool lost to Chelsea. So now Arsenal are in sole
You're welcome.
position of first position. A little bit of tidbit about Arsenal, if you care to think about it. Someone asked me how I was feeling, and I said, okay, we're first. We had, picked up the most points. We have conceded 3 goals. So we have we've conceded the fewest number of goals in the league. We are, I think, just second behind City in terms of goals scored. I think it's like 1 goal or something like that. And so our goal difference is superior to everybody by 2 or 3 goals or something like that. So we have the best goal difference. We've only conceded 3 goals and we're top of the table. Like, I don't think there's anything I can be upset about as an Arsenal fan. Like, we've already been away to Anfield, Old Trafford, St. James's Park. We've played City once. So in our first 7 games, like, it's a good first 7 games for us, I think. So it sets up our ability to challenge for the title pretty beautifully, I think, for the rest of the season.
Yep, and y'all denied the new manager bounce from West Ham. Nuno has to take it out again.
Talk about new manager bounce. That's a great segue, because you know who's not having a new manager bounce? Who is having a new manager? Well, actually, he's just doing the same thing he was doing in his last job, losing. It's your boy. It's Big Ange. What is going on at Nottingham Forest?
I will tell you. It's a Greek manager who wants to win now and took out the manager who was winning now, and and installed a manager who does not have a roster to suit what he does. You know what Ange should have done is just waited for Leeds to fire their manager and then just been the manager of Leeds. That's what he should have done.
I mean, he may still get that opportunity, because
yeah, he may, but yeah, jumping at the Forest opportunity, maybe they made it worth his while. I don't know. I'm not. Is that public information of what they offered him? I don't know,
No.
but
ask your boy Ryan Mason on Twitter,
yeah.
see what he says.
Invert.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe they made it worth his while. I have no idea, but yeah, it didn't think this one fully through, and maybe was full hubris. Maybe it was full confidence of you know what, I'm going to figure it out anyway. 30, you say?
3
million?
3 mil per year. Yeah, 3 mil per year.
Okay, it's
is the
not even big.
estimate.
It's not even a big contract. I'm sure he was getting paid more at Tottenham.
Maybe similar, probably similar, because he was at Celtic before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we might not have had to pay him very
5
much.
mil.
Oh,
5 mil. But also, his buddy is the owner, but that's not going to last very long.
He's friends with Marinakis.
Yeah, they're both Greeks or some shit or something like that.
So Ange is from
that
Australia.
does not necessarily. He is Greek. He is of Greek heritage.
Yeah,
Postecoglou is not a he's a hereditary Australian name. No, he is Greek heritage.
Okay, that's all well and good,
but
that's like
but
me
just because he is of Greek heritage does not mean they are buddies.
I read it somewhere as
even if he was,
how he got hired.
I think he was born in Greece. He may have been born in Greece.
Oh, so then he would be Greek, huh?
We're not sure
citizenship
about
rules apply.
Hold on, we're not sure about the Greek birthright citizenship rules, Brad. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Even still, are you friends with every American?
I am. Yeah.
No.
I'm friends with all
of
them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Everybody's friends with everybody. All right. Yeah. I was going to say, just because not every Greek is friends with every other Greek, it doesn't mean they're buddies.
We're a nation.
I saw it as a joke, that was written on when he got hired, that it was just a joke because they were Greek buddies. That was all I was saying. But you decided to.
I was under the impression he is Australian by birth by nationality. He is of Greek heritage. That
Guys,
was
that man is
my understanding.
100% Australian. Have you ever heard him speak? He is.
Yes.
He's
What I was saying is that he grew up there.
yes.
So if you grew up, if you were 100% who you are, but you grew up in South Africa, you would talk a lot different than you talk right now. That's what I'm telling you.
It's probably true.
It's not probably true. That's how this works. That's all right. All right.
Let's
Weird.
move on. Yes,
all right,
we're done.
I'm not arguing this anymore.
Okay, good, because nobody's listening anymore. All right, let's talk.
Correct.
Let's talk picks. So round 7, we had almost like we had everybody make picks. Tamzid came back with some picks this week. So it was generally a good week for everybody. Nobody was under 50%. The games that tripped
A lot of favorites.
The games that tripped everybody up essentially were was specifically the Wolves Brighton game, and a lot of people got the Everton Palace game wrong and the United Sunderland game. So, it was a good week. Brad's doing some quick editing of our mistakes. Sean, we missed one pick.
Mm-hmm.
And in my defense, Sean, it was in the area that you were working on. So I'm just going to throw you under the bus and just back it up over you real quick. But Brad and I came out on top with 7 correct picks. Sean, Jimmy, Tamzid, and Chap all had 6 correct, which leaves our man Joel languishing in last this week with only 5 correct picks. Brings points total. Tied for first is Brad and Jimmy. So Brad and Jimmy tied for first on 38 points. Sean is just 1 behind. He's on 37 points in third position. Chap is up to 4th. He's got 34 right. I am 5th on 33. But if we look at the pick percentages, looks like
the same.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, we've had some pick variances as well. I was wondering if Tamzid had a higher pick percentage or Joel perhaps. But yeah, I mean,
Chap and Tammy's got you beat by a little bit, not by much, but
slightly.
A little bit.
Yeah, Tamzid's got a slightly better pick percentage than me. So, but he's only picked 40 games, so hardly a critical mass. If you're sitting here and you listen to the whole podcast, you're like, what are these fools talking about? Well, every week we will, in our Discord, which is linked in the description of this video or podcast, it's free to join, costs you nothing. And you just get to hear us yap and complain about things, also in written form. But so in our Discord, every week we will make predictions for who's going to win, who's going to lose, what games are going to end in a draw. And you can get in on the action if you would like. Clearly not this weekend because it's the international break. But next week when we do our preview episode, you have a chance to join our Discord and make picks for yourself. And you put them in there. We add them to our spreadsheet. You get a fancy line on the main overall page, and we'll tell you how many picks you got right over the course of the season. It's mostly for bragging rights, though. One season, someone won a Newcastle shirt. I'll let you guess who that person is that won a Newcastle shirt. So maybe if the Red Card Radio coffers get overflowing, maybe you too could earn a Newcastle shirt, or perhaps a shirt of your choosing. We'll see.
Shirt of your choosing.
Make no promises. We make no promises. But that's what you can do. And in the meantime, make sure you've hit the subscribe button and ring the sub notification bell so that you're notified to all future episodes of Red Card Radio. This is the only one we got this week. We're only doing the review because there's nothing to preview. Next week we'll be back with a preview, and we'll tell you what's going to happen in round 8. And I hope that you're here for it, because we'll be here. Hit us up on social media. That guy up top is at KSBradG. Down below, that's at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we can be reached at Redcard_Radio. And would you guys know that, of course, because we had somebody on last week, I had Sean's Twitter covered up the entire podcast. I just noticed.
Doesn't even.
But now it's there. You can see at Whiteheart_Sean. Tweet us. or don't, but you can reach us there. Have a good one. Enjoy your time off from domestic football, and we will be back next week with another episode. Hope you have a good one, and take care.